King of Pit TV signing in. Downward Spiral, 9 Inch Nails, track 4 of 14. March of the Pigs. I read Animal Farm properly for the first time not so long back. Because I thought, you know what, it's a brief read and it should be entertaining in its own fashion. Truth be told, I don't remember much of it now. I remember a comical moment where the pigs start walking or bipedal out of the like the farmer's house before making a declaration of such. And the way it was portrayed in writing, the imagery it painted in one's head, I thought was quite comical. But other than that, you know, who cares? Who cares? Who cares? And it's funny how people say, like, as far as like 1984 is concerned, 1984 was not a rule book, man. We're getting further into 1984, man. It's just like we're continuous saying we're heading there, we're heading there, we're heading into dystopia, bro. Can't you just accept that we've been in a dystopian age of conflict now for the past? To me, being relatively old to some and relatively young to some, for me, within the past 15 years, I would argue, 2010 onwards, it seems like the world has just become incredibly bleak. But I don't know if that's just because I've become a little more, not necessarily observant, but put in position as to where I'm a responsible man, and that responsibility comes with a tie-in to forces and hierarchies and peoples and systems and governments and companies that I don't necessarily deem to be appropriate for a life on planet Earth, to be honest. March of the Pigs, let's go on a tangent for 1 second, yeah? I mess around a bit. I do a few bits of work here and there. And not so long back, I was doing sales, yeah? I had a sales position. And arguably, you've got to sell in this life, one way or another, in order to... Unless you're living off of the land independently, like if you want a couple of quid in your pocket and you want to abide by societal norms and live in society and have your bills paid for and stuff, you have to sell something, whether it's yourself at an interview or whether you're selling a product to a person. And the thing is, right, I do the Patreon and all this and this and that. I don't take it too serious. It's up to you if you want to join. I think my personal means of doing it is get a bit of marketing done, get yourself out there, allow the people to make their own decisions. You don't want to do the whole hard sell thing. But I've worked in positions where, you know, you're based on numbers in relation to what you're selling because the company needs you to make money, i.e. a general, typical, normal sales job. And that shit is fucking horrible, mate, because it's... You think it's just like a day in the life and you'll just be in this company and everyone's operating in this particular manner. And then the moment you become a little conscious of what you're doing and you just realise your position is just manipulating people, like straight up manipulating people, given they didn't want the product in the first place. Like if your role is to upsell, if your role is to sell more, if your role is to reach out and sell a product and so on and so forth. I know it sounds self-explanatory, of course you're manipulating people, but sometimes when you're in position where you do it so consistently and you've got pressure from, you know, an authoritarian force that you have to do better and get better numbers and so forth, it's an easy way to go through some form of ego crisis. Because it's a mechanical way of being, and it's arguably it's a disgusting way of being. A great salesman is a great bullshit artist. There's no fine balance there, you know? You shouldn't trust them. March of the Pigs. Join the Patreon, yeah? Join the Patreon and get a free tarot reading, yes? Just give me your email address. Oh, of course, I'm doing that now. Actually, I am building an email address on these videos on the YouTube, so yeah. I'm running a little bit of game on you, don't get me wrong. Don't get me wrong, people, but I'm not going to be knocking on your doors trying to sell you fucking a new door, saying a robber's going to break in, alright? That's my Mr. Nice Guy act. Bring your defences down as I just sort of indirectly sneak a product into your life, you know? So in England, in the early 2000s, there was a very popular, what at the time one would call urban movement called grime. All right, MCs on a, you know, deriving from London first and foremost, coined by an artist called Wiley, and they would spit per se on bass lines that sound no different to what we're hearing right now, which is quite funny. 140 BPM I think grime is, maybe. I think I've heard that before. Is this a re-recording? Did we listen to this on the other Nine Inch Nails record we heard? I remember that bit. Pukeface05 says, listening to this with AirPods is a whole new experience for someone who never uses headphones. 2 replies. No, go and get some over-the-ear ones. Thing with wireless earphones is the connection goes from one to the other, doesn't it? As well as to the device, like your phone or whatnot. Is that correct? They connect to each other, don't they? So I always considered if that was the case, you're like sending frequencies directly through your brain for one to connect to the other. And I think only now they're introducing, or at least conceptualizing, these in-ears. Maybe they are AirPods that can like read your thoughts and stuff, which arguably they've been, you know, obliquely testing out anyway, with the whole sort of, why is this advertisement come up on my phone? I was just thinking about that, which is mad, isn't it? I mean, it's nothing new saying that, but the whole, you know, the waves that they're sending through your brain just for the sake of them being wireless is kind of mad if you think about it. Just want to read a detailed comment here. Someone says, This was my racing song back in the day. I had an 85 Monte Carlo with a souped up 262 V8 under the hood. Sadly, it was totaled in 2001. The 110 thumbs up. Do you think that's the truth? Do you think that person's telling the truth? I don't know what this car is, but there's an incredible amount of detail for no real reason. 3 replies. Was this song still playing when it wrecked? Actually, an Aussie song was playing that day. I believe it was Over the Mountain, if memory serves me. Interesting comment. If anything sounds like just too much, have you ever heard the term too good to be true?
Doesn't it make you feel better? The pigs have won tonight. They can all sleep soundly, and everything is alright.
Cheeky little number, little toe tapper. Little quirk with the doesn't it feel better thing. Obviously that's a nice hook to bring the people in, create a bit of discussion and add a little bit of an edge. Do you know, isn't it funny how something with such a abrasive sound creates an edge by adding an incredibly melodic soft bit in there, a little component where people just like, oh wow, that was actually quite pleasing. I'm so used to this harsh noise that's sort of like the edgy punk rock component of the song. Yeah, not a bad tune at all. Nice pulse to that one, eh? March of the Pigs. We got Closer, Director's Cut, whatever that means, coming up next. See you there.